Hello and welcome everyone on this official platform of Legacy IAS Academy. So today in this session, I'm going to discuss one of the most important issue which is there in the newspaper. और ये issue election के पहले आना स्वाभाविक बात थी. And the issue is Katchatheevu Island. Now, आप सभी ने Katchatheevu Island के बारे में सुना होगा. There are various perspectives with respect to Katchatheevu Island in the newspaper. But what is the real story of Katchatheevu Island? Why it became a point of conflict between India and Sri Lanka relations? And also, Katchatheevu Island is a federal dispute. Federal dispute in the sense where state government is also involved, that is Tamil Nadu. So first we'll try to understand the importance of Katchatheevu Island, and then we will discuss some of the real perspectives with respect to Katchatheevu Island. So let's begin with this. So geopolitics of Katchatheevu. So today in this session I will be discussing the geopolitics of Katchatheevu Island. Now why Katchatheevu Island is important for India? So there are 5 reasons, okay, that why Katchatheevu Island is important. Now, the first important reason for the Katchatheevu geopolitics is geographical location. Geography. Second important reason is historical records. Then the third important thing is fishermen issue. Fourth important reason of this island is China. And the last important thing, strategic location. तो ये 5 reasons हैं जो कच्चाथीवू को काफी prominent island बनाते हैं. Now, what is the location of Katchatheevu Island? So let's see. So remember this thing. These are 5 importance. That why Katchatheevu Island is important to India. Clear? Now, as you can see here, this map. Now see this location, Katchatheevu Island. Now why Katchatheevu Island is important with respect to India? So the most important thing is location. Because Katchatheevu Island connects Gulf of Mannar. Getting my point? So Katchatheevu Island जो है, ये क्या connect करता है? That is Gulf of Mannar. Now this Gulf of Mannar is connected via Katchatheevu Island through Park State. So Katchatheevu Island, it is a link which connects Gulf of Mannar with Park State. Clear? So this is the importance of geography, and that is why Katchatheevu Island also bridging the gap on also connects Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. Katchatheevu Island, Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea को भी connect करता है. Clear? So its location is very important. Clear? Now, why this island is important? Because now China is making projects. China is making inroads in Sri Lanka and Maldives. ये हम सभी को पता है कि चाइना ने बहुत ज्यादा इन्वेस्टमेंट किया हुआ है श्रीलंका एंड मालदीव में under the project of Belt and Road Initiative. So because of Chinese policy, this is actually changing the geostrategic balance in Indian Ocean region. In North Indian Ocean region, this Chinese initiatives are changing the balance. Getting my point? So Katchatheevu Island is very important with respect to, remember this thing, it is very important with respect to India's geopolitics and India's foreign policy. Clear? Now, so as you can see here, Katchatheevu Island connects Gulf of Mannar with Park State. Clear? So this is the location of Katchatheevu Island. Now, अब issue की शुरुआत कहां से हुई? So the issue was started in 2021. Why? Because in 2021, Chinese company won a contract to establish hybrid wind and solar energy projects. Clear? अब ये हाइब्रिड विंड एंड सोलर एनर्जी प्रोजेक्ट्स किसको मिले? चाइना को मिले. नाउ कहां पर मिले? सो 3 आइलैंड्स, डेल्फ्ट, नैनातीवू एंड अनालातीवू आइलैंड्स. So in these 3 islets, China won this contract to establish hybrid wind and solar energy projects. And these 3 islets are in Park Strait. Remember this thing. These 3 islands are in Park Strait. Now if you see off, now ये जो Park Strait है, this is off to Jaffna. Clear? So this is off to Jaffna Peninsula and it is around 37 kilometers from Rameshwaram. And that is why China क्या कर रहा है? Now China is also interested in controlling Katchatheevu Island. This became an important issue. China is also interested in controlling Katchatheevu Island. Clear? इसीलिए recently हमारे Minister of External Affairs ने बहुत सारे statements दिए, जिसमें से एक statement काफी ज्यादा न्यूज में आ गया. Okay, with respect to previous governments who have given up their claims on Katchatheevu, and Katchatheevu was given to Sri Lanka. Clear? So this is also very important. We should know. Now the question here is, who controls Katchatheevu? Clear? Now try to understand. Now the question here is, who controls Katchatheevu? Clear? Now let me tell you. Now as you can see this, Katchatheevu जो है एक barren island है. It is a barren island. Clear? It is a barren island that lies between India and Sri Lanka, and there are no permanent inhabitants or any permanent structure in this island. ये याद रखिएगा. Now there is one Catholic church and that is administered by bishop. Clear? अब हुआ ये in 1974 Sri Lankan Prime Minister Shrimavo Bandaranaike and Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, they signed maritime agreements which ceded the island of Katchatheevu to Sri Lanka. अब question ये है कि who controls Katchatheevu? So prior to 1976, India was controlling Katchatheevu Island, and after that it was ceded to Sri Lanka. So remember this thing. Prior to 1976, India was controlling and later ceded to Sri Lanka. Clear? So basically 4 bilateral agreements were signed by Prime Minister Indira Gandhi and Sri Lankan President Shrimavo Bandaranaike. अब क्वेश्चन ये है, इंडिया ने ऐसा किया क्यों? Why India did this? Clear? Now the question here is, why India did this? So many of you may not be able to connect the events which happened in 1974. Clear? See, foreign policy is determined by various things. Foreign policy is also the extension of domestic politics. Remember this thing. So that is why, now try to understand, this was the reason. As you can see here, this is the cutting of the newspaper, and the question, now the issue here is 1974 May 18th, Pokhran first, Operation Smiling Buddha, because India did first nuclear test in 1974. Now remember this thing, because India did nuclear test which was not liked by Western countries. So at that time, remember this thing, that India was under immense international pressure and India needed support of friendly countries, especially neighboring countries. Neighbors को तो support ही करना चाहिए. अब India को क्या चाहिए था? Support. international support. तो यहीं से आप देखेंगे Katchatheevu, and India also needed the support of its neighbor, and Sri Lanka is one of the most important neighbor of India. Clear? And in the same year, let me tell you, in 1974, Sri Lanka was going to host non-alignment conference, non-alignment movement meeting or summit. 1974 में याद रखिएगा that Sri Lanka was going to host non-alignment movement summit. Clear? And that is why Sri Lanka agreed to support India. And in international politics, nations does not support freely. You have to give something which should be beneficial for other nations. Remember this thing. Clear? So when we claim anything or when we make any argument with respect to any particular leader or you can say any government, we should understand the background. What was the situation at that time? Why these things were happen? This much is clear to all of you. So this is one of the most important thing. Now, let me tell you, after this, as you can see here, this is also one of the most important thing which was there in the newspaper. Now, balancing claim versus balancing ties. Now, in 1961, Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, he said he would not hesitate in giving up claims to Katchatheevu. Clear? And at the same time, one Attorney General was there whose name was MC Steelward. His opinion was in 1960, before Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, that despite contradicting claims, India's case was very strong with respect to Katchatheevu than Sri Lanka. Now, after this, the rights over island, which includes fisheries rights and other resources, this was enjoyed continuously by Indian fishermen from 1875 to 1948. इंडियन फिशरमैन ने बिना किसी डिसरप्शन के यहां पर अपनी राइट्स को हमेशा से एक्सरसाइज किया है. Why? Because of Raja of Ramnad. Clear? So after this, now that means in 1967, when Indira Gandhi came after the death of Lal Bahadur Shastri, again Congress. So Congress was on the verge of split. Clear? Now the senior leaders of Congress, they were called as Congress syndicates. Clear? So they started pressurizing Indira Gandhi, and that is why opposition, because of opposition pressure in 1968, Indira Gandhi government said India's claim had to be balanced with for good bilateral ties. तो इंडिया के क्लेम को क्या करना पड़ेगा? बैलेंस करना पड़ेगा श्रीलंका के साथ अगर हमें अच्छे bilateral ties रखने हैं. Clear? So this is very important that we should know. But this was opposed by whom? This was opposed by Tamil Nadu government. As you can see here, Tamil Nadu disapproval before the agreements. Now, Tamil Nadu at that time, the CM was CM Karunanidhi of DMK party, and he wrote to Indira Gandhi in 1974. Now, he also mentions the records that Katchatheevu Island belonged to Ramnad Kingdom in Tamil Nadu's Ramnathpuram district. ये किसको belong करता था? Ramnad Kingdom को, Ramnathpuram Kingdom को. And that is why he asked one question, then how were the agreements signed? Without consulting with state government, how can you sign these agreements? Getting my point? Now, so now the question here is, अब जब agreement sign किए गए थे in 1974 and then another agreement in 1976. So when these agreements were signed, at that time, remember this thing that in March 1976, actually this was the time period when national emergency was also there from 1975 till 1977. So when these agreements were signed in March 1976, Tamil Nadu was also under present rule, and Karunanidhi had by then been dismissed by central government. करुणानिधि को डिसमिस कर दिया था सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने. ये सबसे बड़ा सिनेरियो था because national emergency was there and also misuse of article 356. That is why AIA, DMK and DMK governments, both the parties, they rejected the maritime boundary agreement. दोनों ही पार्टी ने इस अग्रीमेंट को रिजेक्ट कर दिया and they started demanded to bring back Katchatheevu to Indian control. So this is not only a central issue, this is also a federal issue. Getting my point? This is also a federal issue. So from 1991 till 2013 Tamil Nadu government ने बहुत सारे efforts लगाए so that they can reclaim Katchatheevu Island. अब यहाँ पर क्या हुआ? In January 2000, now you can see here 1991 till 2013, Tamil Nadu government, they made various efforts to reclaim this island, Katchatheevu Island. But in January 2014, because in January 2014, so in May elections were there. So this time period Congress government was there. Clear? So center told Madras High Court that Sri Lanka had sovereign control over Katchatheevu. सेंट्रल ने क्या कह दिया कि श्रीलंका का सोवरेन कंट्रोल है कच्छातीवू पर. Getting my point? And then after the 2014 election, when new party came into power, then they mentions another statement. Now, why this statement was there? Let me tell you. Because in January 2014, when Center made this statement to Madras High Court that Sri Lanka had sovereign control over Katchatheevu, and they also said maritime boundary issue जो है श्रीलंका के साथ वो settle हो गया है. So Katchatheevu was made just like as a border to settle the maritime dispute between India and Sri Lanka. So अभी इस चीज पर लड़ाई क्यों चल रही है? So the reason is, as you can see, that when new party came into power in 2014, after the 2014 elections, so in August, जब बीजेपी पार्टी आई, so in August 2014, again center, remember this thing, they filed a reply to Supreme Court. किसको reply किया? They filed a reply to Supreme Court, and Attorney General Mukul Rohtagi, he told then, at that time Chief Justice of India was R.M. Lodha, and he gave this statement that if you want Katchatheevu now, if you want this Katchatheevu back, you will have to go for a war and to get it back. अब अगर चाहिए तो आपको war करना पड़ेगा. Clear? So in 2015 what happened? Sri Lankan PM Vikram Singhe, इन्होंने क्या कहा? Indian fishermen risked being shot near Katchatheevu Island. Clear? This was the scenario in Katchatheevu Island. Now Sri Lanka is claiming that they have their own sovereign rights. And now why this issue again? Because in 2013, China started a project called as Belt and Road Initiative. So Sri Lanka is also a part of Belt and Road Initiative. Sri Lanka joined this project, and that is why China started investing in Sri Lankan ports. Getting my point? And recently in 2021, Chinese company, they won contract with respect to wind and solar energy projects in 3 islets. Getting my point? Nanativu, then Delft. All these islands are situated off to Jaffna near Park State. Clear? And which is around 37 kilometers from this Rameshwaram. That is why now China is also interested in controlling this Katchatheevu issue. That is why again this issue came into the picture, because किसी भी हाल में India Katchatheevu को खोने नहीं देगा. This much is clear to all of you. That is why present India, to resolve various diplomatic issues, India needs strong government. This much is clear to all of you. So now we have to we should understand that this conflict is not only related to domestic politics, this is related to one of the most important event called as Operation Smiling Buddha in 1974, because at the same time India tested first nuclear test, and at the same time India also needed international support, especially neighbor support or regional support. Getting my point? This is the main reason. So I hope this much is clear to all of you. And Katchatheevu consists huge important for UPSC civil services examination, especially geography mapping. Clear? So whatever the maps that we have discussed, that it connects Park State with Gulf of Mannar. It also bridge a link between Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. So you should know all these things. Getting my point? And you can go through those 3 islets where China won that contract with respect to wind and solar energy projects. Clear, everyone? So I hope this issue is clear now. Thank you so much.